And I'm not a victim of circumstance, but rather I'm a victim of my perspective of circumstance. Just by virtue of being human, you're going to have your trials and tribulations, right? We could assert that being human is synonymous with suffering to varying degrees. There's like the gamut from, the real tragic experiences that many of us go through from different times of our human arc. And then there's sort of the more mundane stuff of the husband hasn't fixed the garden gate for the last few months, but it's irking at you. And so there's still something that people can relate to is just, as I said, just being human and what we might call everyday problems. And so what I'm helping people understand is sort of to reverse engineer what we perceive as a problem to actually seeing what is the genesis of that form of suffering. And it's my assertion that really everything is generated from the way that we look at things, not from the things themselves. And one of the big distinctions I got for myself very early on in my life was that I'm not a victim of circumstance, but rather I'm a victim of my perspective of circumstance. And that, a lot of people sort of get a little discomfort there because they're like, well, shit, if you knew my circumstances, you realize I am a victim, and there's some abhorrent things that happen out there at the extremes. But it's still, the suffering is the byproduct of how we're interpreting something versus itself being where the suffering exists.